Hi, Jack. It's an absolute honor to be doing this interview with you. Thank you so much for your availability. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm really very happy to be on your show and to tell people about the albums that I just came out with.
Yeah, Out of Darkness Part 2 was released about around 4 months ago. How have the reactions been to the album?
It's been incredible for Out of the Darkness Part 2. The reviews have just been really, really good. Everybody loves the songs, the guitar playing, which is nice. They love the singing of Giles. It's the first time that, I've recorded with Giles, Lavery, and it was really a big surprise how great he sung because he had sang good with Alcatraz and Warlord, but I didn't expect him to be this good. So it's a good surprise, and of course the drumming Rhino,
Yeah,
from Manowar. He's a great drummer,
yeah, he's the
and
best.
I discovered a bass player in right in my own little town, a guy named Gene Cooper, and it turned out that he had written some songs for the Ramones.
Oh,
So
really?
he had some good credentials.
I've got nothing but good things to say about Out of Darkness Part 2. It's a fantastic album. It's really, really a great album. And it is the natural successor to your debut, Out of the Darkness Part 1, that was released 41 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. What motivated you to write this follow-up now?
Well, that's a good question. I wanted to have continuity. I wanted to show my fans that I'm still making music. I can still play good. I can still move my fingers and write songs, and my brain still works, and that those are all good things. And I felt that it was time. I don't know if I'm going to do a part three 40 years from now, but you never know. My
Yeah,
my
I'm
mother
sure.
lives to be 106 years old, so anything is possible. But to be sure, I wanted to do a part two, and I wanted to do it in 2025.
Yeah, and I mean it makes total sense. And Out of the Darkness Part One, in the when it was released back in '84, if I'm not mistaken, it had such a huge impact, not only in your career but also in the heavy metal community worldwide. I remember growing up, my father had a copy of Out of the Darkness Part One, and he's always talking about it. So, were you nervous writing the songs for this follow-up?
I started writing the songs about 3 years ago,
Mhm.
and we had somebody else that we were thinking of to sing the album, and he was very famous, a very famous singer. But, sometimes people they don't know how to work in a team,
Yeah.
you know. And I didn't want to be a dictator. I'm not a dictator. That's not my personality. But this person, who I don't want to mention any names, he wanted everything done the way he wanted. The sounds had to be what he wanted. The everything, the lengths of the songs, the titles. He didn't like the titles of the song. He didn't like what key the songs were in. But sometimes on the guitar, you write songs because they sound really good in certain keys, and you can do little guitaristic things, maybe some open notes, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of problems. And then I said to myself, I'm going to be brave. I'm going to forget about this guy. I don't care if he was in a big metal band that sold 1 million albums. It doesn't matter. I want to get the best singer I can find, and one that's a very nice guy and a team player. And I found Giles Lavery, and I had already played on an album when Giles Lavery was very young. It was called Dragon's Claw, and I did a guitar solo. So now it was full circle. It was 10 years later, and
Yeah.
this time, instead of him asking me, I was asking him to sing on the album. So it was really a wonderful, good feeling.
Yeah, I mean, and he just, he stepped up. He really is an incredible singer, and he took the songs to the next level, I think. And especially, you've been a very lucky guy in when it comes to singers. I mean, you have in the 80s, you played with the late Rhett Forrester. Now, more recently, with the great Todd Michael Hall as well. How was the feeling of working with Giles?
Well, I don't know why, but it's like God has given me all these incredible singers, from Rhett Forrester to Mike Torelli to Frank Vestry to Todd Michael Hall to Shmulik Avigal, who was in the Dutch band Picture, and now to Giles Lavery. So it's really been amazing.
How was the process of recruiting him? Was it hard to convince him to join Jack Star?
Yeah, it was it was easy because we knew uh, an incredible drummer named Carl Kennedy, who
Hmm.
plays drums in the band The Rods.
Yeah.
And I asked Carl, I said, do you think that you know of any great singers? You know, and Carl knows that I really need and want somebody great that can hit, all the notes, not just low notes, but from here to all the way up there. Uh, and he said, I got the guy. So he gave me his phone number, and we had a long talk for 2 or 3 hours talking about our favorite singers and what what I wanted to accomplish with the album, and we were on the same page. So that was very, very good.
You were saying that you wanted to show that you can still play guitar, and I mean, and you sure did. In my opinion, one of the personal standouts of this album is Rise Up, and especially thanks to some of your finest guitar work ever. How proud are you of what you're able to accomplish at your age?
Well, I don't know, it's really amazing because I'm going to tell you the truth, Daniel. I actually play better now than I did before,
Yeah, I
and
don't
I
doubt it.
play and I play faster. Like if I wanted to play very, very fast, I could do it. I have not done it on the album, but
Mhm.
maybe on the next album I will do a solo where I really can play incredibly fast. Uh, I'm lucky, really, because I know people that are my age and younger who have problems with carp tunnel syndrome and arthritis and something in America we call trigger finger, where you can't move your fingers very well. So about 3 years ago, I started having a problem with trigger finger, this where I couldn't really move very fast. And instead of fighting it, I thought to myself, I'm going to do nothing. I'm not going to, I'm just going to let it pass. And so for 2 weeks, I didn't play guitar. And it was the longest 2 weeks of my life. But for 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks, it went away. It just, it just totally went away. And it hasn't come back. And it's amazing. I just feel, and I feel that, I could do shows and jump around on stage and be, the same as I was 30, 40 years ago with no no difference. So
Yeah, that's
maybe,
great.
maybe I've been really fortunate and blessed, and maybe I have the genetics of my mother who lived to be 106.
Oh,
So
so
it's
you still be playing Jack's no Out of the Darkness Part 3 at then.
you never know, anything is possible.
Yeah, man, and it's great because you are blessed with that, and you keep blessing us with some great songs and some great albums. So yeah, thank you as well.
And yeah, and I was fortunate that the record label, Brave Words Records, they're from Canada, um, that they signed me and they saw that I was trying to make great, honest, heavy metal, not trying to be, something that I'm not. I was trying to be the best Jack Starr that I can be. Not trying to be Ingve, not trying to be George Lynch, not trying to be Eddie Van Halen because they all exist already. But I'm trying to be me.
Yeah, and that's what separates you from the rest as well. Now that you mention Brave Words, how did you establish that connection? I mean, this is your first album through Brave Words.
Yes, it's great. They've just been a wonderful record label. Uh, they have a great, you know, publicist, Mike Brandvold. Um, they have great distribution. And of course, they have the magazine, the Brave Words magazine. So that's a good thing. And they're not interested in, you know, lying to the metal fans and saying, oh, this guy is the greatest and latest, and he sounds just like Ghost, or he sounds like, they don't, there's no hype. It's honesty and it's the power of metal. And when you have that kind of sincerity, people see it and they love it.
Yeah, and it's great that you're understanding each other so well because if the result of that partnership is Out of the Darkness Part 2, and I mean it's great. Speaking of it, how was the composition process to it? I mean, you just trying something on guitar and an idea comes out.
Well, a lot of times it's different. Sometimes, I could be in my car and all of a sudden an idea comes to me, like you mentioned Rise Up. So I was thinking, for the guitar solo, I want to go, down, 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 down,
Mhm.
and I was thinking, it might be cool to start the solo off with that, with kind of a little bit of a recognizable melody, and
Yeah.
then start shredding, kind of combine both. Uh, which some of my favorite guitar players do that, like Michael Schenker and Gary Moore. They'll have a melodic part of the song, of the solo, and then they go off and they start expanding on the melodic part. So I like to do that.
Yeah, and it turned out pretty good.
Rise Up, I feel that there's a lot of people that are afraid in this world. They're afraid of their neighbors. They're afraid of their government. They're afraid of their family. And I want to tell people, don't be afraid, because this is your life. And if you are always going to be living in fear, you are not going to be having a good life. It's time to break the chains. I said that in the song Rise Up. Uh, Rise up, don't be afraid. Rise up. It's important. And I think a great man once said this. I don't remember the name of the great man, but he said that People should not be afraid of their government, but the government should be afraid of the people. So that means that governments have to serve the people. They have to do good things for people. And they have to know that if they don't, they can be replaced and changed. So rise up is really my way of saying to people, don't be afraid.
And that's a great message. What apart from Rise Up, what other topics do you cover on the album? Lyrically.
Well, I like really all the songs on the album. And I don't want it to sound, like I'm full of myself, but really, sometimes, you make an album and you maybe have a couple of songs that you don't like because you wanted to finish the album. There's no songs that I don't like on the album. I love the song Into the Pit. Great song, great guitar riff. I like the ballad. We have a ballad.
Yeah.
It's called Underneath the Velvet Skies. And some, heavy metal fans sometimes, oh, well, you don't want a ballad. Ballad it's gay, it's wimpy. But I think it's okay to have one ballad and this ballad is kind of dark anyway,
Yeah,
because
it's a
the
power
ballad,
ballad, so
it's a yes, and the ballad is about the end of the world. It's about nuclear war. At the end, underneath the velvet sky. Well, what is a velvet sky? It's a purple sky. It's a sky that changes color because of nuclear weapons. After a nuclear war, the sky will not be blue. It's going to change colors. So I am saying velvet sky. It's going to be thick. It's not going to be a beautiful, clear sky. So underneath the velvet sky is a metaphor for nuclear war. And then I say, we all live and we all die underneath the velvet sky. So it's a power ballad, but it's not, oh baby, you look beautiful. It's not, it's not that kind of power ballad.
yeah, and it really fits into the album. Separating the more speedy songs. It's great, I think. One of the other songs that I like is, or at least my personal favorite, "The Night as a Thousand Eyes." What
Yes.
was the process behind that song?
Well, that song is about paranoia, about that people sometimes feel that they are being watched and that Big Brother, knows everything and sees everything. And there's some truth in that because right now we live in an age where there are video cameras everywhere, where people are always being watched. And so the night does have a thousand eyes. And we should be careful. And we should also know that it's not a good thing, that we need to make privacy more important and that people deserve respect. It doesn't matter if a person is rich or poor, black or white. Everyone should be respected, including their privacy. And that's what the song is about. I don't want to know that when I walk into a store that there's video cameras everywhere looking at me, because they think maybe I will steal something or I will do something bad. I want it to be the way it was 40 years ago when I recorded Out of the Darkness Part One. So maybe Part Two is my plea to make things come back a little bit to a simpler time.
You've been a guitar virtuoso, I mean, since the 80s, first with Virgin Steel and then with your solo projects. If you had to rate on the albums that you played in, on which position do you think Out of the Darkness Part 2 would be?
That's a good question. I would say it's in the top five
Yeah,
because I've done a lot of albums and
yeah, that's true.
I've appeared on a lot of albums where I've only, done one song, like the first Dragon's Claw album or Witchmark. I was a band from Texas, or La Officina, an Italian band, or Zix, a band from Lebanon, or there's a lot of bands that I have played on, but I would say within the top five, which is I think very good.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And in that top five, who would be the other four?
Well, in the top five, I would put the second Virgin Steel album,
Yeah.
Guardians of the Flame, No Turning Back by Burning Star, Out of the Darkness Part One, I would have to say. And I would say Phantom Lord too. Evil Never Sleeps. Not everybody has heard this album, but
No?
it's a really good example of thrash music. And I was happy to have done it. And it also had a great singer on it a guy named John Leone,
Mhm.
who was in a band called Attacker for a while. So
Mhm.
that I would put that one in the top five also. And um, and I think that's it for the five albums. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great top five. And now that you mentioned Burning Star, over the years, um, the Jack Starr, Burning Star is the project that has been including the more metal albums, while Jack Starr was just for your more guitar oriented stuff.
Yeah.
This time is the other way around. Why did you decide to do this?
Well, I went back because most of the Burning Star albums have featured for the last 20 years the bass playing of Ned Maloney. And so I wanted wanted people to know that it's not a Burning Star album, and it needed to be just a Jack Starr album because Ned wasn't playing bass on it, and we had a great bass player named Gene Cooper who played on it, but it was something different, and I wanted for people that were going to buy the album to know that if they're buying the album because they want to hear a Burning Star album, it's not a Burning Star album. Uh, it's a little bit different. I think it's closer to a solo album, to Out of the Darkness Part One.
Okay,
But they're
makes
both
yeah.
it's two different styles.
Mhm. What have you planned for touring right now, for playing
Well,
live?
right now, we signed a deal with a great touring company, a great booking agency called Dragon Productions. And the owner of Dragon, Bart Gabriel, uh, used to book us personally before he had the Dragon Productions. So we're waiting to hear from Bart. And I think Bart and Giles are going to put together a tour for Jack Starr Jack Starr and Giles Lavery. And also simultaneously, I will also be doing some select gigs with my old band Burning Star. So that'll happen. And maybe something else. I've recorded another album also that we're finishing up now with the bass player from a band called Symphony X. Have you ever heard of this band? Mike LaPon. So we've done an album. Rhino plays drums on that, and that is called Exora, Ixora. So, today, because it's hard for musicians to make money doing one thing, many musicians have more than one project, like Giles is in Alcatraz, Warlord, and Dragon's Claw.
Oh, yeah.
So he's in three bands, singing in three, and Jack Starr, four bands. So he's in four bands. Uh, I'm I'm right now in Burning Star, and also I'm in the Jack Starr band, which is Jack Starr Out of the Darkness, doing that music. And also, if Exora gets signed to a record deal, be doing shows with that. So basically, I'm doing what musicians do today to make some money, and some of them do it also because they enjoy doing different things. Like Steve Harris of Iron Maiden, I don't think Steve Harris needs the extra money to
Yeah.
play in the British
Right.
Lions. I don't think so, but
Yeah, it's
he
just for the
enjoys,
fun of it.
yeah, he enjoys, doing something different.
Yes.
So in my case, I'm doing it because I would like to make extra money because you don't make enough money with one band, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's actually sad to hear that Jack Star or Burning Star don't get enough money because they totally should. I mean, the quality and over the years that you've been putting out, it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. Well, last year we did play at the Up the Hammers Festival in Greece, and we were the headlining band on Saturday. So, you know, we want to do shows, but we want to do, good shows, select
Yeah,
shows. And but we love our fans, and I'm always appreciative when our fans come, to the shows, and they'll bring like a big bag of albums that I'm on, and I'll sign everyone, even if it takes 2 hours. If there's a line of 50 people I'll sign everyone because without the fans, we are nothing.
yeah.
We'd be playing in an empty room.
Yeah, and I'm not sure when the last time that you played in Portugal, but if the chance comes, don't waste it. I would love to have you here and to talk to you personally, and also to watch your show.
Oh yeah, that would be great because we would love to play in Portugal. I have
Yeah,
some really wonderful fans from Portugal.
Jack. I mean, it was an honor, an absolute honor to have you here. Thank you so much once again. Would you like to send any message to your Portuguese fans?
Tell them I love them and I want to meet every one of them, and I want to be able to see your beautiful country, which I have never seen yet. So
Yeah.
I would love that.